Meet Walter White at his 50th birthday. He's the definition of a pressure cooker with a broken valve. He's buried his potential so deep it's starting to rot. In psychology, this is emotional repression. He's a genius teaching chemistry to kids who don't care, while his brother-in-law, Hank, sucks all the oxygen out of the room. He does nothing for his family here because he feels like nothing. He's played it safe for so long, he's become a ghost in his own house. If you're watching this and feel like you're just reacting to life instead of acting on it, congratulations, you're in the pre-Heisenberg phase. It's the quiet before the chemical reaction. When Walt gets the news, terminal cancer, his first instinct isn't to cry on Skylar's shoulder, it's to lie. He hides it. Why? Because for the first time in 50 years, he has a secret that is entirely his. This is a desperate grab for autonomy. When life strips away your health, the only power you have left is information. By hiding the cancer, he's not protecting his family. He's reclaiming his identity from them. He doesn't want to be a patient or a victim. He wants to be the master of his own narrative, even if that narrative is a tragedy. It's the first crack in the mask, the moment he decides that the truth is less important than his own sense of control. Enter Jesse Pinkman. To most, a loser ex-student. To Walt, a golden ticket. Walt joins the game and tells himself the biggest lie in history. I'm doing this for my family. This is classic rationalization. It's a defense mechanism where we create logical reasons to justify behaviors driven by much darker desires. Walt needs the money, sure, but he wants the thrill. By framing it as a noble sacrifice, he gives himself a moral get-out-of-jail-free card. He's a chemist. He knows that if you mix the wrong ingredients, things explode. But he's betting that as long as his intentions are pure, the explosion won't burn him. Spoiler, it does. Walt's greatest asset is his brain, but it's also his greatest shield. He uses intelligence not just to cook 99.1% pure meth, but to distance himself from reality. This is intellectualization. Instead of feeling the guilt of poisoning thousands, he focuses on the purity of the product. He treats murder like a chemistry problem, calculating the molarity of a gas or the efficiency of a battery. If he can turn a moral crisis into a technical one, he doesn't have to face the man in the mirror. He's not a killer, he's just a scientist performing an experiment in a lawless lab. It's cold, it's brilliant, and it's completely detached from humanity. The money piles up. He has more than he could spend in 10 lifetimes, but he keeps going. Why? Because it was never about the money, it was about the empire. This is narcissistic grandiosity. Walt suffered from small man syndrome for decades, watching his former partners become billionaires while he wiped down car tires. Now he's not just a teacher, he's a god. Greed in Walt's case isn't about currency, it's about validation. He needs the world to acknowledge his brilliance, and the only way he knows how to measure that is by the size of the pile. He'd rather be a king in a graveyard than a servant in a palace. There's a shift. He goes from the man who says, I am the one who knocks, to the man frantically burying barrels in the desert. This is the sunk cost fallacy hitting a breaking point. He's invested so much blood, lie, and ego into Heisenberg that he can't stop even when the fear returns. Initially, the cancer made him fearless. He had nothing to lose. But once he built an empire, he had everything to lose. The fear returns not as cowardice, but as paranoia. He's no longer running towards something, he's running away from the consequences of his own shadow. He became a prisoner of the very power he fought to gain. The most chilling part, the lack of emotion. When Mike dies, Walt feels a tactical annoyance, not guilt, because he realized he didn't need to kill him. When a child is killed during a train heist, he whistles while he works. This is moral desensitization. Constant exposure to violence and unethical choices erodes the brain's empathy response. He hasn't just lost his emotions, he's optimized them out of existence. People have become variables. If a variable is in the way of the formula, you remove it. No hard feelings, just chemistry. This is the point of no return for his soul. Walt will do anything to make himself look correct. Even when he's poisoning a child or letting someone choke to death, he finds a way to be the hero. This is the self-serving bias taken to a lethal extreme. He manipulates Jesse, he gaslights Skylar, and he lies to himself most of all. He needs to be right, because if he's wrong, then he's just a monster. And Walt can't live with being a monster. He can only live with being a misunderstood genius forced by circumstances. He doesn't just break the law, he tries to rewrite the moral code so he's always at the top of the curve. If you've came so far, then make sure to subscribe, because we are just getting started. He waits. He hides in a cabin in New Hampshire, rotting away, until he hears his former partners on TV. Then the spark returns. It's about revenge. This is the psychology of resentment. Walt has spent his whole life feeling slighted by the world, and this is his final checkmate. He doesn't just want to kill his enemies. He wants to prove he's smarter than them one last time. It's a quest for catharsis, a final release of all the pent-up bitterness he carried since the first episode. He's not looking for redemption, he's looking for a grand finale. In the end, he finally admits it. I did it for me. I was good at it. This is the moment of shadow integration. Carl Jung talked about the shadow, the dark part of ourselves we hide from the world. For 5 seasons, Heisenberg was a mask Walt wore. In the final moments, the mask and the face become one. He didn't become Heisenberg. He finally admitted that Heisenberg was always there, waiting for the cancer to give him permission to come out. He dies in a lab, the only place he ever felt truly alive. He didn't lose his way. He finally found it, even if it led straight to hell.